Let's talk about services for a little bit. First of all, let's talk about firm fund services and how are we taking those to market?
Well, since our inception, Bridge House has advised over 60 upper and middle market firms on developing their ESG programs and their strategies, and that includes considerations of how they want to approach due diligence and manage their investments and select criteria for their portfolio. We support them in UNPRI mock scoring, for example, and we have worked with over 200 portfolio companies providing an array of services, including carbon footprinting, energy management, resource efficiencies, and environmental compliance services.
Well, thanks for that description, Krista, around firm fund services. Let's get into maybe a little more traditional territory for you. Due diligence. What does Bridge House do there for their clients?
Well, we provide an array of due diligence services, including traditional environmental liabilities, traditional phase 1 environmental assessments, which focus on the assessment of soil and groundwater contamination primarily, and also the license to operate for environmental compliance. We also provide facilities due diligence, which looks at the mechanical and structural components of the assets. And as part of this evaluation, we do look at the resiliency of assets to physical risks such as wind, fire, and water, and also look at the resource management around energy, the efficiencies and the use of energy, and look for early stages to perhaps reduce the cost of energy. And then, of course, this all gets rolled up into our ESG due diligence package, where we are looking at the environmental, social, and the governance and identifying not only risks but opportunities. And we believe in many cases the opportunities are considerable if they are identified and then put into operational plans post-investment.
Sounds like a bit of a trifecta there in terms of the due diligence services. Last but not least, let's talk about the portfolio company services.
We essentially have two tracks that we provide for our portfolio company clients. The first is the management of environmental compliance and health and safety. Help companies make sure that they have the license to operate and their workforce is working in a very safe environment. We also provide environmental liability management for those properties that may have existing soil and groundwater contamination, and we work to make sure that the financial resources are in place to successfully manage those obligations.
Excellent, Krista. Last section on portfolio company services, sustainability and impact. A lot of terms that people are hearing in the marketplace. What does Bridge House do there?
Well, we provide sustainability and impact services for our global portfolio companies. So primarily, we help companies realize sustainable growth through improvements of waste reduction, energy efficiencies, and resource management. And we package that up in annual corporate sustainability reports to get the good story out there. And an area of most concern is the reduction of energy costs, which is essentially a proxy for reducing carbon. And many companies now have embarked on decarbonization strategies, which is a very exciting area of growth for us. In particular, understanding a company's Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions has become necessary to compete in the marketplace as their customer base are requiring that data from their suppliers, and it's impacting our portfolio company clients.
Great. And what about impact opportunity assessments?
Impact is another exciting area where ESG is more internally focused between the four walls of the enterprise, where impact are the external positive environmental and societal effects that a company has on the external stakeholders. And there are companies that have quantifiable positive impact, but they perhaps lack the messaging and the reporting to demonstrate that to the investor class. We do think this is an area of opportunity where we can improve the enterprise value of certain portfolio companies.